In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process that we use to generate leads for pet waste removal companies. Now, there are a couple of prerequisites before we move on to the training of this video. Number one is that you have to have a Facebook business page established already, and you have to have an ad account that's in good standing in order for you to run ads for your pet waste removal company. So with that being said, if you log into your regular Facebook profile page, from the left hand side there, you're going to see an option that says Ads Manager. And if you click on that, that's going to take you to the Ads Manager where we're going to begin our starting point. So the very first thing that you need to do from inside the Ads Manager is click on this green Create button that's on the left hand side. This is going to bring up an objective section. This is basically telling Facebook what sort of campaign you want to run. And I'm going to click on the lead objective here and click on continue. Now here, what I want to do is just do manual setup so that I can have more control over the campaign settings that Facebook provides for us. Once you do this, Facebook will build the Facebook ad structure. You're going to have a campaign section, a lead ad section, and a lead section. This is where we're going to be able to set up the overarching campaign details at the campaign level. Very first thing you want to do is you want to give this a name that actually makes sense to you. So if you're advertising a specific area of town, maybe you want to plug that in there as well. For me, I'm just going to say Houston Pet Waste because I'm in Houston, and let's just pretend that I'm promoting a pet waste removal company in Houston. The next thing that I want to do is, you don't have to worry about special ad category because you're not that kind of business. Come down to the advanced campaign budget section and just shut this off, and also make sure that your A/B testing is shut off. You actually don't need to use any of this unless you've got a pretty large budget for testing and doing this kind of stuff. But for local businesses, typically we turn this off. The next thing that you're going to do is click on the new lead ad set level here, and in this section we're going to be setting up your budget. You're going to be setting up your target area, placement of the ads, and a few other details here. So again, very first thing is you want to come in here and name this something that actually makes sense to you. I try to keep it, try to put some identifiers in here, so if I'm building more than one campaign, I can easily come back and identify the one that's working for me. So the next thing that you're going to go to is going to be conversion. This is going to be where you want that conversion to happen. And a conversion is somebody raising their hand. Okay, this is what a conversion is on Facebook. Somebody sees your ad, they raise their hand to acquire more information. That's what this is. Where do you want this to happen? So for us, since we're running lead ads, this is going to be instant forms, and it's going to show up. This is the option that we're going to choose here. As far as performance and goals go, you want to leave this alone. Don't mess with any of that. Don't mess with dynamic creatives. Don't worry about catalog. You don't need any of that. And all you're going to do is go down to the budget and scheduling section. Now, this is where your daily budget is going to be plugged in. Now, a lot of people ask about budgeting, and honestly, your budget is your budget. Whatever you can afford to spend is fine. I've seen Facebook ads that work at $10 a day. I've seen some that work at $200-300 a day. I've seen some that work at $1,000 per day. So it just really depends on your budget. What you do want to get in the habit of and understanding is how much it's going to cost you to generate a lead, and how much it's going to cost you to make that turn that lead into a sale. That's got nothing to do with the Facebook side of things. That's just business in general. So you're going to want to have a good understanding of how much you're going to want to pay for a client based on the subscription services that you're selling. Okay. We're going to be setting this up as daily budget. We don't want to do lifetime budget. Daily budget is the way to go. So basically, you're going to spend X amount of dollars per day, and then when you want to stop it, you can stop it. If you want to increase it, you can increase it. There's an option in here that talks about budget scheduling. I'm not going to recommend that you click on this right now. Just leave it alone. Don't make sure that this box is unchecked. And then you're going to move down to the section that says audience controls. Now, inside of audience controls, we're going to be plugging in where we want our ad to show, what area of town we want to target. So what you're going to do is hover over this location section, and you're going to see a pencil on the right hand side. If you click it, it's going to open a section that allows us to plug in cities, zip codes, even physical addresses in here to target a specific radius. Now, you are a pet waste removal service, so you actually go out to people's homes and provide this kind of service. So ideally, if I'm marketing this kind of service. I'm targeting a specific neighborhood, maybe a neighborhood that's a little bit more affluent, that kind of thing. So you just want to put in here either a zip code or a service area. So once I plug that in here, I'm going to expand this option that says more options. Okay. And what I want to do here is give Facebook some specific parameters. Ideally, probably 18-year-olds are not out there buying pet waste services. So what I want to do is expand this and click 25. The next thing that I'm going to suggest you do is going to be here where it says advanced audiences. Okay, so basically this is a suggestion. It doesn't mean that Facebook's going to honor this. It just means that, you know, we're going to give Facebook a sort of suggestion. Okay, and we're going to tell Facebook that our ideal customer has a range. Now, whatever your ideal customer is, based on the data that you have, based on previous customers that have bought from you, is what you want to plug in here. So in this case, it might be something like 35 and above. That's what that might look like. And also, if you look at your data and it's like 90% females who have inquired about this service, then you want to just market to female. But if it's 90% male, you want to market to males. If the data is like, you know, in the middle, it's a mix of both men and women, then just leave it alone and let the ad do its job. Next, you're going to come to placement, and placement is going to be where our ad is going to show. And I do not like automatic placements or advanced placements. What I want to do is hover over advanced placements and click on edit. And the reason for this is because I want total control of where my ad is going to show. The reason for this is because some ads do better on certain platforms. Certain creative doesn't work on certain platforms. So for example, if you're running a video that's a square video, that's not going to be a good thing to advertise in on Instagram stories or Facebook stories, because the format is completely different. And so I just want to attract and put my ad in front of the highest quality traffic that's possible. So from this section, you're going to usually select where you want your ad placed. So you can go ahead and uncheck and click all these options off if you don't want them to be shown in those specific formats. Now, before I move any further and go through the setup of the actual ad, I do want to tell you guys, if you're watching this, I have a workshop called the Local Lead Mastery Workshop. This is how we generate simple Facebook ads. You can get up and running in about 60 to 90 minutes. I go in a little bit more detail. I cover offer, I cover creative, I cover targeting, and it's very straight to the point. It's for home service businesses to get up and running who don't necessarily have the budget to hire a marketing agency to create these ads for them. If you want to check that out and that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and go to localleadmastery.com, or I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video with a bunch of other resources as well. Next thing that you want to do is click on the new lead ad set. This is where we're going to set up creative, where you're going to set up your ad copy, etc. So again, come to the very top and give this a name that actually makes sense. I like to use names that match the thing that I'm promoting, or the creative that I'm promoting. So if it's an image of me and my dog, then I'd put image of me and my dog. If it's an image of me and kids, I'd put image of me and kids. Okay. Next, you're gonna come down to the ad setup and you're gonna leave it at single image or video. From here, you're going to go down to add creative, and you're going to have an option to add media in here. So if you expand this, you can choose to run a video ad, or you can choose to run an image. I'm going to choose an image right now, and this is going to open up the image library. And if you don't have an image that works for you, you can click upload. This will open up your computer, and you can upload whichever image you want into the Facebook media library and put it in here. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about imagery, and I want you to think in terms of authenticity. You're providing a service where you're going to somebody's house. If they have pets, they probably have kids, or they might be an older couple that's just looking for this, this kind of service. So you want to come across personable. You want to come across as human. You want people to know that they're doing business with a locally owned and operated business of that sort. So stay away from the gimmicky stuff. Stay away from like the big red letters that promote sale, fire sale, all this other stuff, because we don't see them working out as well as they used to. Okay, so you're going to choose your image, and just for the demonstration purposes, I'm just going to pick an image here, and I'm just going to click next. And once you do that, your image is going to load in here. The next thing that you're going to want to do is come down to this section that says primary text. This is where you're going to put your ad copy and your offer. Okay, what exactly is it that you're offering? What is it that you want to promote in your ad? Once you have your primary text, your offer, the thing that you want to promote here, in there, you're going to scroll down and you're going to go to the headline. This is just kind of reinforcing what you do so that people can kind of see something at a glance. Once your headline is plugged in there, you're going to go down to the call to action, and this is where you're going to select either learn more or whatever call to action matches what you told people to do. So in my case, I'm just going to click on learn more, and then my ad's going to look like this. It's already taking shape. The next thing that you're going to do is come down to the destination. So essentially what we're doing is we want to gather a little bit more information about our leads. So we want to know maybe, you know, their location, maybe their zip code, maybe how many pets they have, maybe how, you know, what they're interested in doing, whether they're interested in having us come out once a week, or maybe it's a one-time deal, they're having an event, or maybe it's a recurring thing where they're looking for somebody to come out every couple weeks, depending on what you're going to be setting up, right? So in order to do this, we're going to create a form that can capture that information. You're going to click on this button that says create form. And this is going to open up a lead form wizard where we're going to go through some configurations and settings. The very first thing that you want to do is actually give this a name that makes sense. Don't leave it, you know, blank like this. Just give it a name that makes sense. From the lead form, all you need to do is click on more volume. This is literally what we do here. And in the intro section, I would just use the image or the video that's in the ad, leave it alone. But I do add a greeting in here. Basically, what I want to add in here is get your pet waste removed today, or something very similar to this, so that people know that they're in the right spot. Make sure that your form is congruent with what your ad is saying. From here, you can include more details about your services. Okay, something similar to this, and that's going to be the greeting that people are going to see. Once you've got that done, you're going to come down to the questions, which is the next option, and you want to add some custom questions. Now, this is going to allow you to select certain things that you need from your leads, as far as like phone numbers and maybe street address or city or state or even zip code. But there's also going to be some pre-filled, there's going to be some custom questions that you kind of want to ask, right? So maybe one of the questions that you're going to want to ask is, what type of dog do you have? Or what kind of breed? Is it a small breed, a medium, a large breed? Because that's going to give you an idea of what you know, the amount of work that you're going to need. Another question that people ask is, well, it seems very normal, is, do you actually need pet removal waste services? And so on and so forth. So you can add as many or as little questions as you want. I would recommend adding a few so that you can pre-qualify some people in here as well. And once you do that, you're going to go to privacy policy, and here is where you're going to go to your website. You're going to take your private policy page from your website, and you're just going to copy it in here. And if you don't have a private policy on your website, get with your web person, let them create a private policy page, because in 2024 and beyond, with all the privacy issues that have been happening, lawsuits, etc., it's beneficial that you have, at the very least, a basic private policy section. Okay, so once you do that here, paste it in there, and the link text, all that's going to be is going to be privacy, and that covers that area. The next thing that you're going to want to do is click on a message. This is going to be the thank you page. This is what the actual leads are going to see once they submit the information. So in here, you can put a message like, thank you for, reaching out to us. We are going to call you. Our office staff is going to email you, text you, whatever the case is, so that they know what you need to expect, or what they need to expect once they submit this information. Once you do this, you're going to click on create form. That form is then going to be here in this section where you can choose it, and you'll be able to see, what that form looks like along with custom questions. Once you do this, the final step in this ad process is to click on publish right here. And what will happen is you should see the ad that you published right here. And once it goes for approval to Facebook, it's going to go live, and you should start to start getting traction from this ad, usually within a few days. Now, the next step that I'm going to show you is how we automate this process, because once you get these leads, they have to flow into some place, and you have to be able to communicate with people. And if you're out on the field, you're busy with a job, or you're dealing with the customers, if you don't respond to these people instantly, there's a likelihood that you're going to lose this job, and you're going to lose the opportunity, and it's going to go to your competitors. So let me show you what we do once we set these ads live. Now, what makes this work and more powerful is the system on the back end that allows for the leads to be automatically nurtured, followed up with, and entering into a sales process. For this, we use a tool called High Level, and I'm going to be linking everything in the description of this video. You can check it out. There's a free trial through it. And if you're not on High Level and you decide that you want to use it for your marketing stuff, you get this whole automation for free. You just import it into your account and click go. So basically what happens is that once the ad goes live, and people see it and they click on it and enter that information, those leads then come into this tool, and the tool will automatically create an opportunity and put these people in a pipeline for you. It'll then go ahead and tag them. It'll wait a couple seconds, and it will see if the lead came in within or business hours or after business hours. If the lead came within business hours, it goes down one direction. If it came after business hours, it goes through another direction, because they're handled a little bit different. What happens is that the system automatically confirms and verifies that email, verifies that phone number, and instantly sends a text message to that lead saying something like, hey, Mike, thank you for requesting information about our pet waste removal services on Facebook. Just want to make sure that we have the right information. Once these people respond, they enter into a text conversation with you. You also get instant notification that the leads are coming through, so that you can get on the horn and call these people, right out of the gate, or do whatever it is. Our system then automatically follows up with them. If they don't respond, we'll send text messages, we'll send voicemail drops, we'll send emails, and continue to do this for you for several days until they say, hey, stop, we're not interested, or they respond and they get looped back into your sales process. This allows you to not have to worry about constantly being on your phone and missing a lead and having to waste opportunities that would normally be yours if you can't get to people on time. This is literally the sauce of closing more of those leads into paying customers. And without this right here, you can still close business, but it becomes kind of a burden once you start to hit volume in your business. Now, all the leads are then funneled into this conversation section where you can text back and forth with people and see what kind of stuff that they need. You can kind of see that they are responding in here via text. You can call them from here, and then the leads are then organized into this opportunity section where you can kind of clearly see the new leads that come in, where the estimates have been done, people have been booked into appointments, or you've lost the job that have been been interested in. So this is the entire system that we use for building ads for pet waste removal companies. And like I said, some of you are at a stage in business where you can do this yourself. If you want a little bit more hand holding and you want something that's a little bit more in depth, I do have and encourage you guys to check out the Local Lead Mastery Workshop. There's been a lot of people that have gone through this workshop, and the reason this workshop exists is because I know that there's a group of people who are not where they're at in business that want somebody else or can afford to have somebody else run the ads for them. And this is exactly what our process is for when we bring on customers, except for the fact that you can do it yourself on a budget. So if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments of this video, and I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. There's also links to the description of all the resources that I mentioned.